Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, live from Harlem in New York City, yeah, it's me, it's Alex, and this is the Ramble. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hello, can you hear me, Larry?
Yeah, I can hear you fine and clear.
Yes, the thing is that we have a whole new way of doing this now for getting the phone. See, what happened is I always used to use a thing called Skype to call you, right? Mm-hmm. And I did that for the longest time, and all of a sudden Skype is no longer going to exist. And they said, well, go over to our new program, which is Microsoft whatever, something, panels or groups or whatever. And I couldn't figure out how to make a phone number call from there. Just couldn't figure it out. So I went over to Zoom and paid some money so that I could get this and be able to call you. So when Skype quits, we don't have a problem.
Well, if you couldn't figure out, how could the average person?
How could the average person? Exactly. So
yeah.
It's everybody is changing what they do, and in this case, it was something called Skype, which for years, I don't know how old it is now, maybe 20, 30 years, it's that old. And Microsoft bought it a few years ago, and they made some improvements to it, some for the better, some for the worse. And it started out as a free phone system is what it started out as. It's been kind of just hanging in there because Zoom came along and completely captured the market for that kind of thing. So they just decided to close down Skype rather than improve it, So here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are in the middle of a technological problem. So,
as I recall, Zoom became huge during the pandemic.
Yeah, became very good. And it's a good program. I mean, we use it for our nighttime program and for our Monday program. And people just come on and you let them on. And you sit there and you talk and you look at them, and it's a great system. But, of course, I couldn't use regular Zoom with you because you couldn't get it on your little phone.
Right.
And you can't get it. You can't get it on your computer. Do you ever use it on your computer?
No.
Because
it's way too complicated.
Because you use what do you call it? Dial-up. Boy, how many dial-up people are there left in San Francisco?
Believe it or not, I read about 5 years ago there was like 50,000.
Really? Still. You should I don't know, get a hold of all those people and have a get together. You guys can figure it out for yourselves. How are we going to get into this world now? Don't you miss
tying up all the phone lines here? I would think.
Don't you think you're missing something? I mean, like for instance, when somebody says to you, "Well, I want to do an interview with you. Let's Zoom it. Let's do it on Zoom," and you can't do the interview.
No, because I usually don't want to do them. So.
Okay, fine. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up to you. I've been wrong. I went on and tried to count how many of these little get-togethers we've done we started in, 2016?
Mm-hmm.
And I figured it was about 250 or something like that. Well, the other day I was having to move all your things over to something else, and a different number came up. Do you want to know how many we've done? This is number 363.
Jesus.
Can you believe that?
That's a lot.
I mean, we do these about every 2 weeks, you and I, and it's 362 was the count that came up, so this would be number 363.
Good Lord.
Do you feel worn out?
Yes, I'm tapped out. I've got nothing left to say.
I don't know about you, but I feel worn out. You know, we never find stuff not to talk about.
You always seem to find something to go on. I could tell you, what could I tell you? Yesterday was a very depressing day. It was the 44th anniversary of my first open mic.
Of your 44th anniversary, somebody puts down on the web 33, but it was 44, right?
44, yeah.
Wow.
Good God, that's so depressing.
44 years. What year was that?
March 3rd, 81.
You know, when I think about the 80s, I don't think of them as like 40 years ago, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think of them. They were part of my life, you know? I mean, here I am. I'm 85. God damn it. I don't believe it, you know?
Very scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. So, and you're how old now? You're 72. 72, yeah. Yeah. So, happy 44th anniversary.
That just seems like an impossible amount of time to pass by.
Yeah, it started out at an open mic, I would imagine, where at the Holy City Zoo or where?
Holy City Zoo, and that was the same later that month. Reagan got shot. I remember that.
Yeah.
So 81. A wild
I loved
year.
Will Durst's line about that he didn't know he had been shot, and quite frankly, between you and me, I'd like to have a president with a central nervous system.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Oh man,
so that was 2 years before I met you. So
2 years before you met me. God damn it! Am I that old? I guess I am. You know, there are people who say, "Come on back to San Francisco. Everybody will remember you." And I'm going, "No, they won't." Most kids who are growing up in San Francisco right now, most kids who are in the 30s don't remember me, or maybe 20s don't remember me. You know, there are kids out there that don't remember who John Lennon was.
no, let's see. 44 years ago, if you had a teenager that was listening to your show in 81, he would now be 63.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I stopped doing the program in when? When was my last broadcast in San Francisco? I defer to you because you remember these things.
Well, your last Live 105 was July of 97, and then you got on CNET, and that ended in, I believe, 2003.
2003. So we're talking about
22 years.
22, 23 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who were born 23 years ago who don't know who the hell I am.
No.
You know. So I don't live in the past like that much. You know, I mean, you've asked me to come back and do a little get together with you.
Yeah.
And I think about it, you know, but I go, who's interested? You know, who really cares? I mean, yes, you meet up with people that say, "Oh, well, what's Alex Bennett doing these days?" You know, but they're people that remember.
And would they come out and see us?
Would they come out and see us? That's a good question. You know, that's why I look back at San Francisco fondly. I remember a lot of the stories of what happened there, and many times tell them on the air, but I don't really go back and try and relive that because we couldn't relive it. We couldn't do that show today.
No, we'd be arrested.
Well, you want to know the simplest part that would never happen? No radio station would allow me to invite 50 people up every morning to sit in an audience in their business facilities.
Oh, they'd freak out.
Yeah. No, we can't do that. Oh, well, we better hire a security guard. Actually, we did have security. His name was Curtis Martini. And if
he was the muscle.
Yeah, he was the muscle. If he was the muscle, I was a dead man. That's how I used to put it, you know. I mean, Curtis, his feeling was, hey, if you want to kill Alex, I won't stop you. You know?
I'll make a phone call to 911.
Yeah. I just saw a picture of Curtis Martini on Facebook. God,
Oh, yeah?
we've all gotten old, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
No, you haven't changed much, though I haven't seen you
I
recently.
think I have.
Oh, I don't think so.
I saw a picture of me that was taken last summer on stage. I literally looked like I was 105. So.
Well, live in this feeling of things, and that is that, and it's true that beauty fades, ugly stays forever. So if you're ugly as a kid, you're going to be pretty much ugly as an old man, but you may not look as ugly as the other people.
A very attractive person would really, I would think, would really fear aging.
Well, look at Pamela Anderson. I mean, she's no party anymore, you know?
And how old is she?
I have no idea. Echo, how old is Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson is 57 years old.
67 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, she just made a picture called The Last Showgirl, which I think she got nominated for an Academy Award, maybe not, but it was, she was pretty good in it, but she took the makeup off, you know? She allowed herself to look like Pamela Anderson looks today. And that's the thing, you know, I gotta tell you, and I adhere to this. Look your age. Don't try and fight your age. You know? Embrace it. And if you embrace it, that's a beauty in and of itself. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah. You can't, there's nothing worse than getting older and trying to look young. It just.
Well, I was supposed to get an eye lift. A doctor said, hey, we can take those bags off. At the time, they were doing something else with me. And I said, how much is it? And they said, $5,000. And I went, yeah, I'll do it later. You know, I mean, I just, hey, I'm an old man. That's the way you got to look at me. I mean, you haven't seen me lately, have you?
I have not, no.
If we were doing this on Zoom, which we're doing Zoom calling, but we're not on Zoom, you could see me and you would say, what the hell happened to you? You know, I always have this story about, you remember Jackie Coogan?
I remember the name.
Okay. Jackie Coogan was the kid with Charlie Chaplin in the movie The Kid. And everybody considered him the most adorable kid in the world. All right? Jackie Coogan grows up, does some acting, you know, and eventually winds up being Uncle Fester on the Addams Family.
Wow.
I want to know what morning Jackie Coogan got up, looked in the mirror and said, God, what the fuck happened to me?
So he's like an adorable child actor?
Yeah. Do you remember there was a kid on television, kind of weird-looking kid called Mason Reese?
Kind of had red hair.
Yeah, and he had his face was kind of a little pushed in and stuff.
Yeah, what did he do?
I can't remember, but Mason Reese was in quite a few things because he had this face that was a great character face. I saw a picture of him today. He looks the same, but worse. You know, and it's horrible. Everybody, if you get a chance, go on to Facebook. I think he's there. Look up Mason Reese and look at his picture today. Now, there's another reference I just made. How many people remember who Mason Reese was? Yeah.
Let's find out what he did, because I do remember the name.
Yeah. But you know, he was on television and movies, on commercials, you know. Things like that. He had this weird kid with a weird little face, you know. But so anyway, but you stayed beautiful, Bubs.
Well, that's got to be terrible to be like when you're a kid. If you're like get some success in TV or movies,
yeah,
and your life literally peaks before you're a teenager.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that must be terrible. I mean. I hope, you know, Mikey Madison won the Academy Award for Best Actress, and I like her. okay, and I thought she did a superb job. And I hope she continues to have a career. But she may not. We don't know, you know? And it must be terrible for people who had a great success early on in life, who later on in life have no success at all. You know?
Well, who was the youngest person to win an Oscar?
I don't know. Mikey Madison's 25.
Maybe Tatum O'Neal.
Well, Tatum O'Neal won it for Best Supporting Actress. But how about Best Actress? Hold on. I'll ask the expert. Echo? Who is the youngest actress ever to win a Best Actress award?
This Oscar winner for Best Actress, Marlee Matlin, has held the record for 36 years.
Marlee
She was
Matlin.
selected at the 39th Academy Awards in 1987.
Yeah, she was she's held the record for 35 years. Marlee Matlin.
How old was she?
Echo, how old was Marlee Matlin when she won the Academy Award?
Wikipedia.org.
Yeah.
At age 21, she is the youngest Best Actress
21.
winner and was the first deaf performer to win an
21.
Academy
21. And she was the only deaf performer ever to win Best Actress. You know? So, that, you know, that also reminds me of the best joke I ever wrote. Best one.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that I said, and I don't know that anybody else ever did it before me, but that Peter Townsend, you know, The Who, was losing his hearing from having worked in front of those amps all those years. And he was almost completely deaf. And they were thinking of changing the name of the group from The Who to The What?
That's good.
Yeah, I always like that joke. What's your favorite joke in your act? In other words, of all the jokes you've ever written that you've ever put on into your act, which is your favorite? That's a big question.
Could be. Well, the now his life sucks is a stolen identity one.
Yeah, that's the one you always start off with, pretty much.
Yeah, and what was the other one? 15% of Americans are dyslexic. I thought, wow, just over half. That always gets us. It always takes a delay before the audience laughs, but I like that.
Yeah.
Which they wouldn't let me do that on the Letterman show.
Oh, they wouldn't?
They said, all the PC crap. It was they didn't want to offend dyslexic people.
Oh boy. So that those are your two favorite jokes.
I think so.
That you've ever written.
I like them because they're very quick. So.
What joke that you do gets the biggest laugh?
The stolen identity one still gets a big laugh. Surprisingly, it's an old joke now.
And you do it at the beginning of your act all the time,
and sets a tone.
And people who have seen you before laugh at it, having already knowing what the punchline is to the joke.
Yeah.
You know, which leads me to question. When you go up and do your act, you know that a great amount of people in the audience have seen you before.
Which is the very uncomfortable feeling. Yeah.
I know that's a very uncomfortable feeling, but do you realize that they want you to do your hits?
Well, because when I started watching stand-up, I would go back and see Bobby Slayton 10 or 12 times. I couldn't wait to see it again. So.
Well, Bobby had an interesting thing that he did, and it was that every time I saw him, and I saw his act any number of times, and then I would watch. Most comedians, I would only go back and watch their act about once a year, because in a year it would have changed. Okay, and with Bobby, every time I watched him, even if it was like a month later, it seemed like he had a whole new act.
He never did the same order.
He never did the same order, so that consequently I'm sitting there going, God, is this all new material?
Yeah.
Which that's weird. But you're right. He never did do the same jokes in the same order. So I wonder how his mind works that way. By the way, he wrote me, and I got to get it from. He asked me if I had Gonzo's number. Dr. Gonzo was a musician, a comedian. Right. Who did basically musical comedy. Could we say that was the best way to describe it? Yeah. And he worked in San Francisco for the longest time. In fact, if I remember correctly, he actually was maybe the first or the second person, comedian I ever had on my show in San Francisco. I think I may have been him. And then I said, do you know any other comics? And one led to another, to another, to another, until I was up to my ass in comics. And he wanted to know Dr. Gonzo's number. John Means is his real name, because his wife died. Did you know that?
She just passed away.
Did you know that? And he wanted to know if you had his number. Do you have his number?
I do not. I just...
Oh, okay. But I wouldn't ask him for you here, but our respects go out to John. Gee,
Yeah. Bad.
Well, how old must he be now?
He was born, I can tell you.
Here we go. Rain Man's going to give us some information.
I believe he was born October 3rd, 1955.
1955, so that would make him how old?
He'll be 70 in October.
So his wife is probably approximately the same age.
I would think, yeah.
God, it just breaks my heart when it happens that young. And I say that young because at 85, that's young to me.
It's a youngster, yes.
Yeah, and when it happens that young, having gone through several things in my time, and I'm 85, I go, why did I survive and these people didn't? We've had a lot of comics we know who have died. People I knew, Sam Kinison, for instance, died very young.
He died, he wasn't 40.
He wasn't even 40. We had, what's his name? Daughter was driving the car.
Oh, Schimmel.
Robert Schimmel, who he went through all kinds of cancer in his time, one after the other.
One bad thing after another with him.
In fact, he wrote a book called Cancer on $5 a Day. And he survived them all. That was the amazing part. And he had something else that he was going to go have an operation for, but he had survived all these cancers only to be in a car driven by his daughter that drove into like a tree and killed him.
Yeah, and she survived. So
and she survived. How must she feel?
That's bad guilt, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. But I that just shocked me, because I imagined somebody was going to call me. Did you hear that? That Bob Schimmel died, and I would say, "Oh, okay. What did he have this time?" Right? And I wouldn't be surprised. But to find out that he died because his daughter drove into a tree, I think it was a tree, is daunting at best. What comedian's death bothered you the most?
Well, recently we lost, I think, 3 in 1 year. It was Saget and Louis Anderson and Gilbert.
Yes, the one that affected me the most was Gilbert, because I was pretty close to Gilbert.
And he was so odd and hilarious.
He was a wonderful person. He was a funny comic. His favorite thing to say about me was, and I don't know if I have it up here, I can do it. It was this. Here we go. I think this is it. Okay, let's hope this is it. So you will be able to hear it. Okay, I think you'll be able to hear it.
Hi, this is Gilbert.
No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, God. I can't find it now. I thought, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Alex Bennett is still alive?
Now, he said that all the time to me, you know. And one day I'm walking down the street in New York City. I think it was like on Fifth Avenue. And from across the street, I hear Gilbert.
Alex Bennett is still alive?
I loved Gilbert. I miss him so much. So much. Every year we used to go to a party together. And then we would just stand there talking for hours. He was a
Really?
smart guy. Anyway, hey, listen, I think we've run out of time. Yeah, we're coming right up on it. Let's do this again next week,
We
okay?
shall, yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown.
Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
That's my good friend, Larry Bubbles Brown. Episode number 363 that he has done with me. Okay, so I hope that you all enjoy that. Okay, anyway, how are you? We really screwed up at the opening tonight. If you're listening to the recorded version, then you won't have heard it. But we had a whole bunch of one thing I forgot that I put up, and I don't know. But anyway, we got the show on the air finally. And what happens is when it screws up when I start recording it, if I then stop it, then I got to start it again. Oh, it's too much to explain to you, but as I get older and less of the ability to deal with this kind of stuff, it gets rougher. So I'm sorry if we had a little. If you're listening to this on the actual YouTube recorded version where they record it, where they play it, and I can't edit that until the next day. Takes them something like 12 hours before I can go in there and change things around. So thank you for putting up with it. I appreciate it. Anyway, we got some people waiting for us tonight. They're all part of the citizen panel, and I will admit all of them here. And let's see them coming in here. Here we go. There's let's see here. Our good friend. Adrian, how are you? Boy, your face has gotten funny. Oh no, it's better now. It's better now. You know, I love her because she does all those wonderful, oh, geez almighty. That's scary, isn't it?
Okay, bye.
Boy, you have the ugliest daughter I've ever seen. At least the way she presents herself whenever she puts herself on the screen. She makes wonderful faces, though. She's very good at, what's the knife for?
I'm helping her. I'm helping her make some food thingy from TikTok, Instagram thingy out of
Instagram.
This Instagram?
No.
What is it? Some kind of, what is it?
It's like, you know, like those like chamoy pickles?
What pickles?
The chamoy ones, you know? Like the ones with like the Takis, the spicy. Okay.
I don't know what she's talking about.
It's like a cucumber, and then they stuff some spicy sauce in there, and then they put all these spicy candies in there, and then they eat it.
Oh, really?
I need to get the Takis out.
Yeah.
Do you like spicy food, Adrian?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, is this going to be spicy? Brian, is this going to be spicy?
She's making it. I'm not touching it. So.
Oh. What
I'm
is
just pouring this out.
Does it come in a bag and everything to make all that stuff?
No, you have to make it.
I mean, sometimes they have like a kit, but that comes with the stuff, but you have to make it by yourself.
Yeah. Oh, well. Is it good when you finally make it? You like it?
Mm.
This is the first time.
What is she eating right now?
Spicy
Chili
and lime.
and lime. Wow.
Okay.
So she saw this on Instagram. Does she realize there are people on Instagram trying to poison her?
Yeah. The Chinese are infiltrating.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Stuff it all in. Put a big plate.
Okay. Oh, here comes Charlene Martinez, who could, at this point, become a poster girl for Ozempic. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Hey, how have you feeling like stomach upset or anything like that, Charlene?
What? Yeah. Have you found any side effects to the Ozempic, Charlene?
I'm good. You know, some people are real crazy, and you know, I know women that are nutty and get like all, but I'm fine. I don't know. I don't.
I mean,
have
you
a
haven't
problem.
had any stomach problems or anything like that.
No.
And what do? Do you take the Ozempic and then you stab your stomach with it or something?
Yeah, it's like an EpiPen, like that. You know, if your throat's kind of closed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, like you just do it like at first I was mad because they told me to get a YouTube video. They wouldn't even help me, like, you know, but I got it after a while, and it's not bad.
Where did you get the prescription from?
Oh, the when my sugar went up to like 10,
Mm-hmm.
my regular doctor, he was always telling me, you know, I'd say, well, I thought I was pre-diabetic. So I'm like, well, the PA came in and she goes, like, are you diabetic? And I said, well, no, I'm pre-diabetic. Well, he comes flying in with her after she talked to me. How many times do I have to tell you are diabetic? And I said, oh, okay. So then, he sent me to the endocrinologist, and you got to hear this name. They yell at me in the hospital, just call him Dr. Wang or something, but his name is Xing, like Xing Bang Wang. That's his name.
That sounds like you're trying to get a pot out of your
right.
yeah.
He's Chinese, you know. He's very cool though. He goes, I want to make you happy. Are you happy? He goes, are you happy? And I say, yes, I'm happy.
So you had to get a prescription, of course.
Like they referred me to endocrinology, and then he's the one that puts you on it, and he monitors it. Like I do blood work, you know.
Yeah.
They check your kidneys and all that.
So let me ask you this: to begin with, how long did it take for you to lose how many pounds?
Well, I think it's maybe over 66 pounds now, like a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it happened gradually, like maybe like the first month or something. Like you don't see that much, but then slowly you start, losing weight. It's amazing,
Yeah, but my question is, how much is this costing you per month?
Well, I'm just lucky. Don't ask me how I got it because it's really hard. But they, he gave me like prior authorization. You know what that is?
Yes, I know what that is. Yeah.
So somehow the guy he liked me because I found that out. If doctors are good, like hospitals are good too. He got me the, prior authorization. So, and the kid is new at my pharmacy.
So I'm still asking you, how much does it cost per month now with prior authorization?
The kid at my pharmacy at Walgreens the other night, he gave me my 3 boxes of Ozempic, and he goes, well, this will be absolutely nothing for you. Meaning I didn't have to pay copay or anything.
Yeah, well, because the pre-authorization means the insurance company agrees to pick it up.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. So,
you know more than me. But.
I've had stuff that I've had to have pre-authorized. Yeah.
Yeah. All the good stuff, you have to get them pre-authorized.
Yeah. But, that's very good. So, how long you been using it now?
Wow, for a while now. Like,
wow.
I guess it's a year now, yeah. Mm-hmm. But they started at 1 milligram.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 2 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
And,
but let me ask you this. This is the other major question, though.
Uh-huh.
If tomorrow you stop the Ozempic, what happens?
I'd probably start gaining it back. I mean, they tell you if you do go off it, like you have to watch on your own without the Ozempic, to keep it. But, they didn't really explain to me. I had to find out, like, you have to stay on it, like a maintenance kind of thing where you stay on it, like, to keep the weight off.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it as often.
No, you still do it. Like my other cardiologist upped it to 2 milligrams because he wanted me to lose a little more, he said. But, now I've only lost a little bit more. But, Sharon Osbourne, have you heard about her?
Yeah.
She says, I think I've gone a little bit too far. And she, you know, went nuts and really wanted to lose a ton of weight. And now she looks like a skeleton. Like
Well, but the thing is that at a certain point, you're going to stop losing weight with Ozempic. I mean, it doesn't keep you losing weight until you finally shrivel.
You're not supposed to get too thin on it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some people have, you know, like Sharon Osbourne had trouble. I guess she maybe went to 3 milligrams. I don't know what she did, but she said she went too far, and now she can't put any weight on, she says, or something. But
well, that's a crime, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we're all a bunch of lab rats, really. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to study Ozempic, and you know, well, I mean, they had it tested before, but you know, I don't mind because you know I'm old, right? So
Well,
what do I have to
I
lose?
could stand to lose about 20 pounds, but they wouldn't give me Ozempic for that. They just say
No,
stop
you're not obese.
stop eating fudge, you know, stuff like that.
No, I think you look good. Don't lose any more weight because you lost a lot, you know.
Yeah, I
You don't
lost a
wanna be
lot,
too-
and then I put it back. I put on about 30 pounds, but the weight that I was at the very bottom was too little, and I started eating to try and bring myself back up a little bit.
Right.
You know, but it's you know, then I got the prostate operation and you know, the seeds and the radiation and the pills that I take for my neuropathy and so on and so forth. And so finally, after all is said and done, I gained about 20 pounds back from what I wanted to be. So I don't care, you know. If I'm going to go someday soon, I want to go feeling satiated with the food that I eat. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to be starving.
Yeah, and I did it on you know, low carbohydrates, but really that was a pretty expensive diet. You know, because you're eating meat all the time, and that's very expensive. So the Ozempic may be just even the whole thing out. You know. So anyway. Hello there to Josh Wheeler. We only see once a week, but it's a pleasure when we do. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
Yeah, and there's our old friend Charlie and Jeffrey Stein and Kevin, and Brian Neary is making food with his kid. So, you know, it's he's being a good dad.
Chef Neary, yeah.
Huh?
He's Chef Neary tonight.
Chef
with his
Neary
daughter.
today, yes, right. But anyway, so how are you all doing? How are you doing, Josh? I haven't seen you in a week. What's happening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah. How's your job working out, the new job?
Okay.
Yeah. You seem thrilled by everything. That's okay. All right.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's okay. It's fine. I'm all right. Anyway, so it's been today was an interesting day. Does anybody follow the stock market? Well, I do. You know, ever since I had some money in it, I figured I better start looking at it. And today I'm seeing they got a little ticker, you know, on the side of the screen like on MSNBC, and as we're watching it, this thing was going up and down like you wouldn't believe. It was like $500 down, or points down. I like to say points. It's really dollars. And then all of a sudden I look at it about 20 minutes later and it's $20 plus, 20 points plus. And then it's all the way down to 300. And it finished off up 300. I mean, I've never seen it do that. I've seen it in one day go kind of up and down, but not, you know, that precipitously. What has this president done to us?
An engineer used to say up and down more than a horse drawers at an elk convention.
At an elf convention?
Elk
convention. Okay. And did your daughter hear that?
Yeah, she doesn't understand what it means.
Yeah, Daddy's just goofy.
Up and down.
You know, I mean, I'm sorry, Donald. I thought you were good with money. I guess you're not. I guess that whole thing about you on The Apprentice was a big lie.
It's the power of the threat of tariffs.
The power of the threat of tariffs. And what does it come back to bite in the ass? Us.
Yep.
You know, we took a big beating this week. You know, I probably lost about 10 grand. You know, I'll get it back. It'll come back, but maybe, you know. I don't know. I should ask my business manager what he thinks. And he's probably going to say, "I told you not to look at the Dow. Don't look at it. It'll drive you crazy." But also, when it went up and down and up and down, up and down, I didn't go up and down that much. So we'll see what happens, you know. But it's not been pretty. What's your take on it, Josh? We haven't heard from you in a week.
Well, I mean, the market is going to react that way, but you know, again, Democrats should be communicating it and finding a way to make people see it and understand clearly that it's his fault, and they're not able to do that. So it's not going to add up to anything, you know. I mean, what's even worse than the stock market, really by far, is the fact that in the month of February, you know, 173,000 people were added to the unemployment rolls, the single largest month since 2009, okay, during the Great Recession that Obama took over in, all right? And there was no Great Recession right now, okay? So it's the single highest month of unemployment additions in 15 years. If you take out the fact that it was a Great Recession, it's the single highest month in decades upon decades. How are Democrats not able to go on TV and say, folks, in the first 6 weeks of this president's administration, he has added more people to unemployment than any other president in decades. Matter of fact, and now let's just start stretching it in history. We've never seen anything like it. It's the worst we've ever seen. I can't believe how bad it is. You know, I mean, people are on unemployment. The chickens are still dying. I don't know. I mean, where are they at? I don't understand how they cannot find one single effective communicator that says, you guys can hold up all the fucking paddleboard signs that you want. Nobody cares. You need to go play the same game.
You know something?
And
well,
that's not the game.
I mentioned this yesterday, and it really was true. When the Mr. Senator, Congressman Green from Texas, started yelling at Donald Trump, saying, you know, what you're saying about Medicaid is a lie. And they kicked him out of the Senate or on the Congress, or, you know, wherever they were holding it. Right. And they kicked him out. Not one single Democrat walked out with him. And then the next day, when they censured him, the censure vote, of course, we expected all the Republicans to fall in line with Donald Trump, but 10 Democrats voted to censure him as well. I mean, what's with the Democrats? They're just wimps. They're fools. They're jerks.
They don't have a message.
You know?
They don't have a message.
People won't vote for him.
Huh?
Then they wonder why people won't vote for him.
Yeah.
I won't vote for him. I just won't vote.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, that he should have done what he did, and I don't think that Republicans should whine about it when they're like the inventors of that whole thing, you know. But again, this is my point all along. No one's worried or talking about that now. They're talking about this guy who did it and what it looked like and all that. So again, Republicans, all they had to do was sit in their chair, you know, crack their beer, throw their fishing line out into the lake, and lo and behold, caught a fish. You know, I mean, they don't even have to do anything to make them. They just watch Democrats.
But you know, when they kicked him out, every Democrat got up and walked out. That would be a real sign of something. It would be a sign.
Well, I mean, I think that would be a statement, but I don't think that's what they should be doing.
Why not?
Because I don't think because that's not what Americans are saying they want. You know, the reaction to the speech was, about the same 50-50, whatever, decently approved, even as, stupid as I guess it was. I mean, the approval ratings are slipping, but they're still where they are, and things are still happening. I mean, to me, walking out of a government meeting, if you're a Democrat, is not the way to try to start governing. The way to try to start governing is to participate.
Yeah, but you're not participating in
start
anything.
Running.
All you're participating in there is an hour and 40-minute speech by a windbag.
Well, that's fine. I don't disagree that it's a stupid speech, but the American people see joint sessions of Congress and a president giving a speech as an event that congressmen and senators and various other people attend and have always attended.
Well,
and I don't know that now is the time to break that tradition.
Hold on a second. They attend, but they're not required to be insulted and to sit through being insulted, which they were continually happened to them as that speech went on.
They should have been sitting there taking notes instead of holding up their paddles and taking those notes out and stirring up the shit right after it happened.
I mean, to me, walking out is it is just if they're it's leaving the boxing ring is the way I see it, and they should be punching back. And they're to me, leaving is just, he's gonna insult us. And, no, what they should have been doing is they said, you know what, we did sit through that speech and we did insult, he did insult us the entire time. And you know what, all of us did? We sat there and we took it like a man does. But if the shoe was on the other foot, Diaper Donnie, okay, and JD Sycophant would have ran into a room and fucking cried like a little bitch. And I would go on TV and I would say, like a little bitch. And then I would say, and for any of the women out there who got offended by the term that I just used, don't fucking vote.
I don't know what late night
talk. We don't need your vote.
Some late night talk show must be listening to this program because he started calling him Diaper Don.
Yeah, that was Jimmy the other night. Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep, he called him Diaper Don.
Diaper Don. Yeah.
I mean, that's what they should do. They should sit there. They should take it. They should let him make an ass of himself, and then they should go out afterwards and communicate through their own rallies and through their own social media system what a jackass he is. And you know what? We sat there and we listened to the jackass, but he isn't able to do that because he's not man enough. He's not a serious person. He's a little baby. He can't handle it.
Let me disagree with you, though. As someone who comes from a pretty radical left and the kind of stuff we used to do in the old days as a radical leftist, I think you got to be more assertive than that. I think that the Democrats, if they had just sat there and listened and then made their statements afterwards, have you seen the little rallies they hold, the songs they sing, and the things they do? It's embarrassing.
I have, and I agree with you 100%. I agree. Those are stupid. They need to totally. I'm saying they need to totally redo that. They need to stop having those stupid ones, and they need to start having some real ones.
I've said this before, and you disagree with me, I know, but I believe, the threat of violence is what should be inherent in what we say, and the reason it should be is it's the only thing they react to when they're afraid that they're going to get hurt. They suddenly take action and they respond to it. But they don't, they respond to even if you give them kind of a what am I looking for here? A mythical circumstance that you say is going to happen. A good example would be back in the days when we did the Chicago conventions, the Yippies spread a rumor they were going to drop LSD into the water supply of Chicago. Well, they went crazy. Do you know what they did? They got a lot of cops ringing reservoirs and everything like that to make sure nobody dropped acid in the reservoirs. Do you know if you dropped just a bucket full of LSD into the reservoir, how many people would get high?
0.
None.
Yeah. You know why? Because that water is chlorinated and it would kill the LSD. All right?
So it would be diluted.
But they went crazy. They were watching the water supplies. They were talking about these yippies who were going to, put LSD in the water. And it was just, all you had to do was make the threat. All you had to do was make the threat. And they went crazy, So,
I'm not saying some stuff like that wouldn't perhaps work. I'm just saying that I don't know that it's needed because they could beat him without it, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not beating him without it because, again, for the 5 millionth time, he's the only one playing the game.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. What happened in the last couple of days is kind of interesting. That Donald Trump, who was definitely Mr. Tariff, suddenly decided, well, we won't have the tariffs for now.
Right.
And then today, didn't he say he was going to put some tariffs on some things?
Yeah, he says it one day.
He doesn't know what he's going to do or what tariffs he's going to impose. And meanwhile, Canada's got a good game plan. Have you seen the shelves up there, the liquor shelves?
Sure.
You can't find Jack Daniels. You can't find America's wines up there. And they're just happy. They're happy with their own product.
We don't have any Democrat at any rally tonight explaining that in such a way and with such fire that it's going to lead the 6:30 news. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they're all just like, whatever. So what's going to lead the 6:30 news? Whatever Donald Trump said.
What they do is they trot out, what's his name? Schumer. And he comes
that's not.
Yeah, and he's
that's
really
not going to work, right? And I respect Hakeem Jeffries, and everything, and all that, but I'm not really feeling it with him either.
No.
And then every time he comes on TV, and they put his name under there, and under it says New York, and that he represents Brooklyn. I'm sorry not to offend anybody, but in large parts of the country, especially where I live, people look at that and say, oh, yeah, that's exactly what we need. Another one of those fucking guys from Brooklyn telling us how to run the country.
I will say, though, the guy from New Jersey, what's his name? Your senator from New Jersey?
Oh, wow. Who the hell is he?
Oh, gee.
What senator do we have?
Well,
damn, I can't remember.
What's his name? I forget his name now. But anyway, he's
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker, yeah.
Oh.
He's pretty terrific. He
like
kind of takes some names when he's putting things down, But he
like Josh said, where are these guys? Where's Doug Christie? All these guys, or Chris Christie? I mean, all these guys, And
well, Chris Christie be happy to tell you what he thinks if you put him on your show. It's just he's not put on very many shows lately because most of the networks don't want to take a chance on him because Trump might get mad.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they're very careful at these networks now. CBS, is trying to merge, CBS and its Viacom is trying to merge with I'm trying to remember what company it is now. It's one of the movie companies, and they want to merge and become one, and it was just refused. And the reason it was refused because Trump doesn't want it to happen because he doesn't like the way CBS interviewed the vice president when she was running for president. Well, that isn't a reason to do it, but everybody's afraid to say no. And in this case, the FCC is going after CBS, NBC, and ABC for various and sundry reasons. And quite frankly, it's disgusting. And it's only because they didn't say what he wanted them to say.
Yeah. But I still just say everything that he says, everything that he does, give me at most 5 minutes and I'll figure out a way to twist it around into a winning issue for Democrats. He doesn't like the way CBS treated him and they couldn't do interviews and all that. First of all, if I'm the candidate, I'll do the interviews. You don't got to edit nothing. I'll do them live if you want. And second of all, if it'll make Diaper Don happy, we're going to get the unedited interviews from 60 Minutes. I'll pay for it out of my own pocket if it's necessary. And it'll be our pre-rally entertainment every time. We'll show it 1,000,000 fucking times if that's what it takes. Just do it. Just throw it right in their face and say, there you go, it's done.
Well,
take away their ability to talk about it.
Well, the problem with what happened here with this whole thing with, Harris and her interview with CBS is, yes, they edited it. They edit all interviews, no matter who they're interviewing.
Right.
They
Been
interview
going on
it for
100
time.
years.
They interview it to tighten things up so that it moves along and flows freely. He was invited to be on 60 Minutes. He turned it down. If he had done 60 Minutes, they would have edited him too.
Sure.
You know.
So we'll play it at our rally, and then I'll explain to everybody that, chicken shit diaper Donnie couldn't even go do an interview.
Chicken shit diaper Don is now suing CBS for $2 billion. It was originally $1 billion. He decided to move it up to $2 billion. I mean, it's an absolute frivolous lawsuit. But, come on. People should know what he's trying to do here. He's trying to intimidate the network. He had every chance to go on 60 Minutes. It was the show they do every 4 years where they have both candidates on, one for half hour and the other one for another half hour. And, they're both invited to participate. He didn't do it.
Democrats just have to wake up and stop thinking they need to talk to the American people like adults, because the American people have proven they do not want to be spoken to like adults. They want to be spoken to like children. So start playing a game and talking to them like they're children. If that's what they want, then do it.
Okay, but
until you can get the system fixed.
Let me throw out something here that I read today, and when I read a lot of the broadcast sites that deal with the news of the day, who's selling what radio station, who did this, who did that. And one of them had a very interesting article in which he said, if you look closely, all Donald Trump has done with his presidency is he's turned it into a TV show. He's hired TV-ready people because they were already on TV, like our Secretary of Defense is an example. And he is hired from TV all over the place. And he has really literally created a perfect TV show. And he said it the other day when Zelensky was, being ganged up on. Okay, well, at least this makes some great TV. Well, we're not looking for great TV. We're looking for great leadership. I don't care if I'm watching a lousy TV show. Just make it a TV show that shows that you're doing your job. And I agree with that assessment, that he's treating it like it's a TV show. He doesn't know any better. He sits at his desk like he's on The Apprentice. Arms folded the same way on the desk. You've never seen a president like that before.
Right.
His posture is a television posture. So anyway, hello, Tony. How are you?
I got to tell you something. I heard you say about the lawsuit.
Yeah, why don't you bring your camera up a little bit? Yeah, just so you.
And you know what I have a problem with that, Alex? The president of the United States, especially him, because he's probably the only president we've had that's had so many lawsuits going on while they're in office. This shouldn't be allowed by the president to be able to sue people.
Actually, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be able to prevail in any suit against him or him against somebody else. In other words, the president, I can say anything about a president I want to say. I can say he rapes little babies, and he can't sue me. But on the other hand, he can say I rape babies, and I can't sue him either. Okay? Don't you? Am I right, Josh? Isn't that what it's like, that you can't sue a president and he can't sue you?
Well, they have some suit immunity for like official duties, just like the.
No, I'm not talking about the official duty thing. I'm talking about if I say something about Donald Trump, he rapes babies, okay, and I can't prove that. Nobody can prove that. Right. He doesn't rape babies, but I say he rapes babies. He can't sue me for saying that. And if he says something about me, I can't sue him.
Yeah, I mean, there's some protection in like a speech and debate style clause, just like, members of Congress can go on to the House or the Senate floor and say whatever, as long as the chamber is in session. And there can't be any blowback. I mean, if I remember, a couple of U.S. senators, I think, read part of the Pentagon Papers on the Senate floor, even while there was an injunction at the Supreme Court that said the newspapers couldn't publish them because there couldn't be any recourse for that, you know? It's why Nancy Mace went on the House floor a few weeks ago and said men had sexually assaulted her, which is, like you said, if she were to go on Fox News and say these men sexually assaulted me, and she has no proof of that, those men could sue her for slander, right? Or libel. But because she said it on the House floor, they can't do that.
Okay, here's what I'm doing right now, and let him sue me. I'm putting it in the chat. Trump molests babies. I just put it up. Let's see. And by the way, this goes out over. This goes out over. Probably I'll get hell from YouTube now.
That's Google, yeah.
Yeah, it's Google. Well, good. Let them try. Go ahead.
Alphabet.
Did you clarify which Trump?
No, I didn't. So,
Alex?
Keep it in the family.
Let me get rid of it just in case they want to give me a bad time about it. Okay. Message.
Alex?
Yeah.
Did you see Bernie Sanders' reaction? Because I watched a
That was
video.
good.
Yeah, I watched him. He's very good. He just now that's the example of an old guy who really he reads the riot act to the president constantly. Wouldn't you agree, Josh?
He's good, Bernie.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows, what he's talking about, and he knows the answers. I mean, I would just say that, it's his right to do that, but from the party perspective, he's not going to be president ever. He's not going to be the nominee to run for president ever.
Mm-hmm.
They need to find someone who is, and that's who needs to start saying those things.
Yeah, well,
he can't be the spokesman for
You're
it.
expecting too much out of the pussy party.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But
they need to start saying those things, but they need to find someone that the people will accept to start saying them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apparently they're all too busy to have the meeting to figure out who that should be.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what's going on in the world today. Nothing much otherwise, At least he hasn't said anything else that's ridiculous.
Oh, you know what he did say? Did you? I don't know if I heard the beginning. He did say he can't speak about peace with Zelensky, but he may have to go through peace with Russia. He said something to that effect.
Like Zelensky doesn't want peace.
Exactly. Exactly. He's trying to make him like he's the enemy.
But of course, Zelensky doesn't want peace because he started the war.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the aggressor.
Yeah. So
Alex, that's that Roy Cohn stuff. If you keep saying the same lie over and over, like eventually people will start thinking.
Well, actually, that goes back before Roy Cohn. That's Hitler. That's the Nazi lie theory that if you say something enough times, eventually it becomes truth. And that's exactly what they do. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Anyway, so that's what's going on in our world. But by the way, one other thing. Do you know what he signed a proclamation for? He just feels he can sign these things.
That's what he does all day. He just signs those orders.
Yeah, and it doesn't count. If there's a court out there that says, you can't do that, then so what if you filled out made a presidential authorization or whatever they call them.
What do you do now, Evan?
I think it was 200,000 Ukrainian refugees who are in the United States are being asked to leave.
Isn't that nice? He's such a nice guy.
I think I heard that. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Can you believe that?
Tonight, really.
Can you believe that?
He's a scumbag. Really. I hate to say it, but he makes me violent.
Well, I don't look. The United States during World War II wouldn't have let Jews come into the United States. Okay, so I don't find that an unusual thing for America to do. But that's what they did. You know.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a horrible thing.
I was going to tell you something too. My brother came home the other day from work, Alex. He is so tired of Trump, like you. He just, I can't take this guy anymore. He's in what? Not even 2 months, and it feels like 2 fucking years with this guy.
Well, also the problem is he is constantly the topic of discussion, and yes, we're talking about him right now, but you can't help it.
No,
you know, you just can't help it.
Right? Yeah, he's always making those proclamations.
But he has dominated the news cycle every day that he's been in office.
Yeah.
You know, and Trump tries to see what he can do. He probably wakes up in the morning and says, "What am I going to do today to make news?"
What did he say I heard a clip. Did he say? Maybe you guys might have heard Charlene too. Did he say with the Democrats, "I could come up with a cure for cancer"? And you still would have, dude, you're cutting cancer research.
You aren't going to come up with a cure for cancer.
And he's holding the kid up as a prop.
Yeah, but really. What he was saying is when he was giving his speech the other night, that hour and 40-minute speech.
Yeah,
he said I could come out and cure cancer, and you guys wouldn't give me credit for it. You know, that was his
Why want to throw people off of health insurance?
And I said, well, first of all, why don't you just try curing cancer? And let's see.
How about this? Why don't you try catching cancer? Then he can cure it.
Yeah.
Roll the dice, Donnie. Maybe they get you pretty.
Look, you know, I hate Donald Trump, and I wish a lot of ill on him, but I don't wish horrible things because that, you know, then it'll happen to me. You know, so.
I know.
Karma will get you.
Karma will get me. Yeah.
Alex, did you ever see? It's true when they say sometimes, like, I mean, only the good die young. Sometimes that is true to a certain degree. I think was that just an old wise tale?
Well, if only the good die young, then I guess I'm not good.
Well,
you know, so.
Oh.
Maybe the good live long or something.
Well, true.
Yeah. So did you finish making all that food for your daughter yet, or what's the story on that project that you've got from? Is that it so far? What is that? Explain that to me.
It's a cucumber.
Oh.
I cored out the cucumber and she poured this sauce in there, and then she has this stuff in there, and then put the spicy chips in there, and then some spicy candy in there, and then she ate it like ice cream.
Oh, is it celery? Did you say?
Cucumber.
Cucumber. So cucumber and candy?
I cored it out, and usually they use a pickle or cucumber.
Well, wait a minute, but candy?
Yeah, like Mexican candy, like spicy candy. Yeah.
Really?
Oh God!
I'd be on the bowl all night.
Well, yeah, I know. She's sleeping down the hall.
Yeah.
Bring up the toilet paper.
How are you doing, Jeff?
Very good. I've been having a great week. I've had two old friends from Argentina came to spend the week with us.
Yeah.
And it's been so great.
Yeah, we can't hear you that well. I don't know why.
Maybe I'm trying to keep it a little quiet.
No, I see.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me leave my voice alone.
you're still down in Florida, right?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yeah. So.
And would you believe
It's the
that
AirPods.
the reason that they come here is to buy clothes?
Really?
Yeah, because in Argentina the costs are incredibly added. So it's really effective for them to get on an airplane, come here, spend a week buying clothes for them and their cousins and whatever for the whole week, load it up, bring it back, and it just reduces their cost of clothes for the rest of the year.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
But other than that, they're wonderful people.
Yeah. Good. So, anyway.
Yeah.
And how's everything out in California, Kevin?
Still here.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me ask then. So I sent Kevin knew, but So the Society of Military History has been tracking a lot of this stuff, and you might have heard, that as part of the crusade to get DEI out of government, the Pentagon and the Department of Defense deleted their records and their pictures, for a bunch of stuff. And I've got I had a list of more of them, but one of the ones that really caught people's attention was they've gone through and probably used AI or some crap like that to do it, and deleted pictures and documents related to an aircraft from World War II known as the Enola Gay.
Oh no!
Because it had the word "gay" in it. And if you don't
kidding
remember,
me.
the Enola Gay was the B-29 used to drop an atomic bomb.
Where was this deleted?
Yeah, the Pentagon and the DoD. They deleted the records. They're getting rid of them because it has the word "gay" in it.
Yeah.
It's a real story. I can give it to you from the
Enola
Society of Military
Gay, in
History.
case people don't know, is the airplane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a song, Enola Gay. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've basically acted like, the crew of this aircraft and everything, they don't matter anymore. Apparently, let's just erase the records and destroy the photographs, get rid of all the digital copies and all that. Because throughout these records is the word "gay."
Well, let me ask you this question, and I don't think I know the answer to this question. Who dropped the bomb on Nagasaki? What was the name of that plane?
I'm trying to remember. The name of the aircraft was. It's out there. I know it, but
probably the Bob Homosexual.
Yeah, it might have been right. But they. Again, this is the kind of stupid nonsense story that if Democrats were having their act together and we're getting out there and we're getting crowds riled up and we're having rallies, they could say, can you believe it? They're erasing our history. They are literally erasing our history, folks. I don't, again, there's not an issue that they can argue that I cannot twist back around and find a way to get average people to understand how stupid the way they want to do it is.
Okay.
Some of it I would even concede that maybe we should do it, but their way is just, it's stupid and it's going to hurt people. I could find a better way.
By the way, just for all of you so that you can remember, this is a trivia question. It's your next trivia contest. The plane that dropped the bomb, and I never heard this name before, was a Boeing 29 Super Fortress named Boxcar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But not box as in B-O-X. It's B-O-C-K.
Oh, okay.
S-C-A-R. Boxcar. Huh?
Yeah, usually they were named after one of the crew, or something like that. Just like the Enola Gay was named after the mother of the crew leader.
And by the way, which of the two bombs was it that was dropped on Nagasaki? There were two bombs, as you may remember.
Mm-hmm.
There was Fat Man and Little Boy. Which one was it?
Well, that was a movie.
Yeah,
Fat Man was on Nagasaki.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Little Man was on Hiroshima, actually. So, yeah. Oh yeah, no, they named the movie that because that's what they were. That's what they were named. So,
right.
Anyway,
I'm just saying this is the kind of stuff that's going on, and I can't understand. It's as bad and as stupid as it is, but how can the Democratic Party not grab a hold of stuff like that and communicate it in a way to get people to understand? I just can't grasp it. I don't understand how you cannot be out there.
I don't think. Look, I think
opposition.
I think the problem here, Josh, and it was something that I claimed at the time when Harris was running for president, that she never went down and pressed the flesh of those very people. You know, she didn't go down to buttfuck Alabama, you know, and hold a rally and see what those people needed and what they wanted and make them feel they were wanted by her. And so she didn't speak to those people. She was speaking to all the big donors and the big cities and and like that. And meanwhile, Trump was going down and talking to people he wouldn't have to his house for dinner, you know?
Right. Yes.
Because
you're right. But I'm just saying they have this opportunity to play the hardball game like he does, and I'm telling you, when someone finally starts doing it and the bully finally gets punched in the teeth and realizes that it hurts, it's gonna change the game. And they have got an opportunity right now to say, for all his talk and for all his toughness, the first thing he does is put a South African, a guy who wasn't even born in this country, in charge of this stuff, and they are literally erasing our history.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how hard is that?
But they're paid not to do that. They're paid not to say that.
I mean, how can that party not have a get together where they can tell people?
Well, I
don't care who thinks that's racist and all this. Fuck you.
But here's the stupid part about Trump, although he doesn't have to run for president again, but his party does have midterms coming up. Who do you think, what percentage of veterans do you think voted for Donald Trump?
Probably a lot.
60%.
Yes.
Who's being affected now by these cuts?
The veterans.
Veterans.
Sure.
They've already lost those veterans.
Yeah.
You know? And next, if they start screwing around with Medicaid, they're going to lose a whole bunch more people. And then among old people, if they try to touch Medicare, which they will, then old people are going to get really mad. And you don't want to get them mad, because if they want to fight, they're going to be deadly, because they have not much to live for anyway. So
I would agree with that.
People that run Social Security.
But I guess I would agree with that only if people actually understand that he's the one who did it. Because what he will do when he runs again for his third term, or whoever else, if you don't think that's going to happen, they're not going to say it that way. They're going to say all that stuff happened because of the Democrats.
Well,
and I know it didn't, and you know it didn't, and we all know it didn't, but that's what they will say.
They can't do that right now. It's impossible.
Oh, he could. He'll go out there tomorrow and say it's the fault of the Democrats, and they won't say anything back. So the only story that the American people will get will be whatever came out of his mouth and whatever his podcasters that are in his pocket say, because Americans aren't reading the Washington Post. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not getting their news from sensible places like that anymore. I mean, if he goes out tomorrow and says all these veterans lost their jobs because makes up some reason from the Democrats, and his Joe Rogans and his other people go out and repeat the lie, that's what people will think. So that's what I'm saying is he can screw over his own people, and clearly he's the one doing it, and then go out on TV the next day and say that, well, I didn't do that. The Democrats did that. And his Scott Jennings people on CNN and all that will go out there with that fucking stick up his ass and that smirk on his face and say it. And nobody will fucking say anything to him about it or call him out on it or prove him wrong. Yeah, we won't have any rallies of our own to show how ridiculous it was. And his truth will stand. When only one person talks, that's the only person who puts their story out there, right?
Well, I think there's another aspect here, and that is a lot of these companies that are kowtowing to Trump because they're afraid of him, and there's some unusual ones. I mean, I can't imagine that Apple has been so complicit with Trump at this point. I mean, what's his name over at Apple? Tim Cook is like his buddy. You know,
yeah, but you know what? If like I've said before, that if there's a tool there to be worked, these guys are doing that. They're going to go in there and kiss his ass because they're going to give them the tax breaks from what they're doing now to us.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. They don't give a shit about him. If you're in a real business, You're going to do whatever you got to make your business run better. And that's what he's doing. They're doing.
Well, maybe their business isn't going to run better.
They'll go, oh yeah, Don. Yeah, you're right.
I'm considering never buying another Apple product, and you know how invested I am in Apple products.
Yeah, well, I've done the same thing with Tesla. So yeah, I've been looking for a battery backup for my house for 6 months, and every time I go to somebody, is we got a Tesla Powerwall. I said, thank you, bye bye.
Wow, yeah. So I mean, it's somehow it's hard to go around these guys. I mean, I don't think I can ever give up.
For their business, they're going to go for it.
You know, I'm so invested in the eco structure of Apple, it's almost impossible for me to get rid of it. Right?
Same with me. Yeah.
You know, my email, everything, all those things. You know, they're all linked together.
They're working him as much as he thinks he's working them.
That's fine, but I don't want anybody that's going to give him a sense that he has power over them. I just don't like
that. If it's good for their business, they will.
Well,
that's the way businesses work.
Well, if we prove it's
the same thing they're doing to everybody in the layoffs is what businesses do to people.
Look what it's doing to Musk's business.
Yeah, his stock is down drastically.
Right, the stock is dumping. Teslas aren't selling. You know,
so that
he'll go in there next week and lay everybody off because he ain't making no money.
And all I'm saying is because there's a lot of that evidence out there that shows me there's a path for Democrats to accomplish things, right?
There's a highway of stuff.
Yes. All it does is make me think of that LBJ quote where he says, you tell them some bitches I'm going to out Lincoln. All I need is a Democrat to say I'm going to out Clinton and start fucking doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Well, I just, it's wearing me out. It's not fun anymore. It gives us but it makes for good radio. Anyway, there's the theme going. Gosh, this is something else again. Kevin, thank you. Appreciate it a lot. And you have no idea. And Brian, you're always with us, and I appreciate that too. And of course, the lovely and attractive Adrian, who's sitting there. Is she eating the stuff she made? Are you eating the stuff you made?
Where is she?
Really? That's it? What is that? Is that what she made?
No, now it's rice and seaweed.
Seaweed.
Oh, okay. What is it? Rice and seaweed?
Rice and seaweed. Yeah, she's going to complain in an hour her stomach's hurting.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well,
it'll be because of the rice.
Have a good time seeing her this weekend, Dad.
Yeah.
Josh, good seeing you, my friend. Always good. And, of course, Charlie, it's wonderful having you here. Good to see Jeff all the way from Florida, and Charlene, who is just looking magnificent. It probably makes you feel better about yourself, too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Now she's an Ozempic junkie. And thank you very much to Tony. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. There goes our citizen panel for tonight. They've done their duty, and we've enjoyed having them here, by the way. Stay tuned now for Amy Manuel. She's next here with The Intersection. She'll be taking your calls at GapNet Live on Skype. I'll see you again Monday with the pop-up show at 4 o'clock on Facebook, and then on Wednesday, same time, same station. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, of course, tell her I love her, will you? Bye.
For the next 60 seconds.
Oh, wait a minute. Stop it. Every time I push a button here, I push another button too. Well, what happened there? And then I did that, and what is it? I'm just having all kinds of problems here. Anyway, let me just say goodbye to you. Goodbye, everybody. See you later. Bye. Oh, boy.